All right, welcome back. This is our video sequence on creating this Raspberry Pi case. And in this particular video, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about how do we get the parts that we have created to 3D print, how do we get those onto the build plate. So we're going to have to use our slicer software to bring that those components over. We'll take those over to the slicer software and get those ready for slicing. We'll try to put them all on the same build plate just to make life easier so we don't have to stand around and wait for each part to come out. So we'll put them all on the same build plate and we'll get ready to print. So here is what we have created. We've created this model here, and one of the things that I'll demonstrate here that that might be helpful is sometimes it's helpful to have it show you different colors for the different components so you can separate things here. So if I go to inspect and I set the display colors, then I can definitely see what's what here. Not that it's so important for what we're doing here, but sometimes this can be kind of handy. All right, so in this particular case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over to the component here, and I'm going to right-click on it, and I'm going to export that base as a step file. And I'm going to go ahead and export it. It's going to drop it in my downloads. You can choose where things go here. So I'll go ahead and export that. Yes, I did it earlier, so I'll go ahead and stay with that. I'm going to do the lid too. Actually, not the lid. The lid is going to be acrylic. We'll talk about that in a future video. How do we get that to the laser cutter? But in this case, let's do this cover here. So we'll do an export. Oh, cancel that. I want to export. And I'm going to export that as a step file. Yep, that's fine. And then the feet, I will also export again as a step file. Okay, so now I've got those out there. So I'm done with Fusion for this part of it. So I'm going to pop open the slicer, and this is the build plate for the Prusa printers that we have here at Luddy. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to open, I'm going to import the step files that I just created. And so I'll do the first one here. I'll do the base. It's the big one here. All right, so there it is. There's our base. And so what I'll do is I'll rotate that, and I'm going to grab this here. And you'll notice if I get on these tick marks, it could be right at 90, and it plops it down on the build plate. The thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move it, and I'll translate it. I think I'm going to pull it. I'll pull it over here. We'll move them around a little bit more as we get going here. All right, so let's do the next one. So the next piece here, so file. I'm going to import another step file. And I'm going to grab, let's see, the cover. So there it is. There's our cover. Want to make sure that that lettering is on top. So we'll go ahead and rotate it as well. And I'll rotate it 90 degrees. Here, let me get those tick marks. So, and then I'll go ahead and move it here. And I'll slide it over here so they're not interfering. So I might need to actually move. There's probably some really efficient way to do this that I don't know. But anyway, we'll just kind of put them out of the way here. I'll go ahead and move this guy here, and I'll move him out of the way. All right, so there's our two pieces. Let's go ahead and grab the third file, import, and I'll grab the feet. And so again, we want to print this so the feet are up so that it can build them up. We don't want it to have to create a whole bunch of scaffolding. That's one of the reasons why we created this component in the first place. If we just wanted a whole bunch of scaffolding, we could have built these feet right into the base. So I'll do a rotation on this guy as well, and I'll rotate at 270, and then I'll go ahead and move it out here, maybe up here. All right, so there we go. So there are our parts on the plate. There may be an optimal alignment to make this go really, really fast. I'm not sure, but for now, you can just put them on the plate and just slice them up. And let's see what we're talking about here. So we'll go ahead and do our slicing. All right, so there we go. It's going to take on the order of 6 hours, so 5 hours and 48 minutes. And you can do your export of your G-code. And this is what you'll drop on your SD card. And so if I save that, I would be ready to drop this onto the printer and have it take off and build this for me. All right, so that's how you deal with the components that you have created from Fusion. And so, yeah, hopefully you've learned something in creating this enclosure. You can build it as we're building it here, or you can, of course, modify it to suit whatever your needs are, or what you think would be interesting for this particular design. So I'll leave that up to you. All right, that's it for this one. The next one I'll come back and I'll show you how to create a laser cut part for the lid, that acrylic part that we created. All right.